Hi, this is Michael Spokane, the leader and the founder of the Young Men Empowerment Forum. And today I want to deal with part 2 of the topic that we started yesterday, speaking about how to know when becoming a people pleaser. How to know when you are becoming a people pleaser as a young man. And I want you as a young man to really hearken to this and to understand that you're going to make yourself miserable when you become a people's pleaser at all times. There are things that you need to please yourself. There are things that you need to please the people around you. There are things that you need not to please the people around you either. There are things that you need to be frank about when you are going to upset the people. But for the sake actually of the purpose that you're delivering it for, let it be that other people get hurt. Remember that people are going to get hurt anyway by other situations of life, by the way we treat them, by sometimes things that we say. But for a good cause, that which that you say, even if it hurts others, sometimes you have to be comfortable with that because you cannot please people at all times. Now, I'm giving an example of where you have to rebuke people, where you have to correct people. If they're going to be hurt by you correcting them, if they're going to be hurt by you telling them that you cannot be their stooge, if by telling them that you're not going to do things for them just to please them, let them be upset about it if they want to be upset. But as a young man, I want you to learn to say no to no and yes only to yes, because that will actually fulfill you. Remember, the primary person is you. And the well-being of you is the only way it is going to serve others. Because remember, you are the only instrument of you serving other people. So in other words, if you want to be a servant in your life, you will serve people by making sure that your well-being is looked well after. Now, if you're going to subject yourself to become a people's pleaser, whereby you're going to even go through lifestyle diseases like diabetes mellitus because of stress, and high blood pressures because of stress, and depression because you're pleasing people, remember you're doing yourself injustice, because you need to be well in order to serve other people. You need to be well in order to fulfill the purpose of your life yourself. Now, I want to emphasize this because you don't need to be people's pleasers at all times. So therefore, it is very important as a young man that you learn out of this. You normally, people's pleasers, you find yourself refraining from sharing different opinions. You start finding yourself slowly refraining from sharing different opinions. Remember, in anything that is being spoken, there are different opinions on that, and you've got your own opinion. If your opinion is contrary to other people, don't be afraid to say your opinion. If your opinion is different from your colleagues, your people around you, your friends as well as a young man, so please don't be afraid to share your opinion, because your opinion may be different, but it's very key to be shared, because when you are not sharing your opinion, you're basically trying to please the people. But remember, sometimes when you don't share your opinion, you're actually starving them of your opinion, because your opinion might be the one that will deliver them from the situation that they're faced with. But people's pleasers are always starving people of their ideas. They're starving people of their own opinions. Remember, your opinions matter. Remember, your opinions are very important. Remember, your opinions are very key to set other places alight or environments alight, to change some situations as well. So therefore, you need to share your own ideas, because your ideas, as I've said earlier, may be the only ones that are needed to set this situation free, or to set the people from this situation. This is very important. Now, don't be afraid to share your own opinion. Don't refrain from sharing your own opinion just by the fact that you want to please the people. You want them to be happy that you don't negate them. You want them to be happy that you don't oppose them. But I want you to be aware that the more you actually submerge your own, or maybe hide your own opinions, you're actually doing disservice to your own self, because you are actually inactivating even opinions in your mind. And next time, you're not going to even have other opinions or ideas in your mind, because you are so relaxed to people making conclusion for you and you don't want to oppose them. So people's pleasers they don't want to find themselves at the wrong side of other people by sharing their own opinions. So please, as a young man, share your own opinions with freedom and without fear. Normally, as a people's pleaser, you'll realize yourself, you do things you don't want to do than to say no to people. You find yourself going with friends that you don't want to go with just by fearing to say no. You're going to drink alcohol with friends and you don't want to drink alcohol because you are afraid to say no. You're starting to smoke as a young man with your friends just because you don't want to disappoint them to say no. You go to wrong places with your own friends, and because as a young man you are afraid to say no. And that is an attribute, that is a characteristic of people's pleasers. And this is a dangerous characteristic. And this is a dangerous thing to do as a person when you start to align yourself with everyone's behavior. When you align yourself with everyone's suggestion, when you align yourself with everyone's doings and behaviors, and with everyone's destinies and so on, so you start to lose yourself in the process. Now, I want you as a young man to find yourself. I want you to find your purpose. I want you to find your destiny as well. And when you find your purpose and your destiny, you are going to be able to become yourself, and you will have a confidence as well of ability to say no, because you will be busy with your own destiny working or purpose in order to focus on it. And when people come their way to invite you and lure you into wrong things, you are able as a young man to say, no, I am busy with something. So being idle is one of the enemies actually of you becoming focused in what you're doing. Now, becoming idle as well become a subject to people's pleasing as well. And that is why people that are idle, they're actually always becoming people's pleasers, because they wanna please the people, because they've got time in their hands. They're not focused on anything. So therefore they can go anywhere, anytime. They are not actually committed to anything. And that's the reason I want to emphasize to you as a young man that be committed in something, do something more focused, like your purpose, like your vision, and make sure that you're not just flexible with time to anything that people suggest to you, because otherwise you'll become a people's pleaser and you'll do things that you don't want to do. And rather than saying no, please learn to say no where you're supposed to say no, and only say yes where you are happy to say yes, because the yes by that time is what you've chosen to do and is what you appreciate saying. Don't just say yes to everything and be afraid to say no. No, don't do that, and use the no. People's pleasers are desperate for applause. They are desperate for appreciation. They are desperate for people to clap hands for them. And I want you to realize that immediately you start being conscious about whether people are clapping hands for you, whether people are appreciating what you're doing or not, whether people are applauding what you are doing or not. When you start to become too much conscious about that, not only just too much conscious, but sometimes you become even obsessed about whether people appreciate you or not. When you start to become very obsessed about that, you must know that you're falling prey to becoming a people's pleaser. You want to please the people, therefore you are actually expecting them to be clapping hands. You're expecting them to be doing something. And when you do that, if people clap hands and applaud you, you're going to start falling into that trap of wanting to see them doing that every time. So therefore, because of that desperation, you'll please the people at all times, because you want them to clap hands for you. You want them to applaud you. You'll say things that are for the itching ears of the people, that people want to hear. When you do that, you're actually doing things that they want to hear. You're doing things that they want to see you doing. So you become a clone of them. You become like them. You become actually not a unique person, but remember that you are a person of your own. You are a unique individual as well, crafted from for a different purpose and crafted for a different destiny as well. So therefore, you are a person of your own. Don't be afraid actually to do things that people may not applaud you. People may not clap hands for you, but do them anyway because that is what is making you happy. And that's very, very key to mention that please don't become people's pleaser by becoming desperate of applause and desperate of them appreciating you at all. I want to end up here today. Your host, Maikona Spokane. Thank you very much for listening to us. This, of course, was part 2 of this great topic. Please join us as we deal with part 3 tomorrow. And please also subscribe to our YouTube channel and also go in there, look for the other material, the other videos that we have recorded in the past, and may the good Lord bless you and allow me to say cheers for now.